Notice a rising trend in popularity on the Tegu lizard. I mean, what's not to love about them? Intelligent, sociable, and just downright beautiful. There's no reason why these guys shouldn't be America's favorite for large lizards. However, with that being said, I do know there are a few things that I wish I knew before getting a Tegu and that I feel like other people should know before they make their Tegu purchase. So today I thought I'd make a video about the 3 main things I think you should know before owning a Tegu. So let's sit back, relax, and dive into things to know about Tegu purchasing. Ugh, that doesn't roll off the tongue as well as the other ones. Let's roll that intro. First thing I think you should know before owning a Tegu is going to be the size of the Tegu. Now yes, I believe we all know Tegu lizards get big, but exactly how big is big and what does that mean that comes with it? The average size of an adult Tegu is going to range anywhere from 3.5 to 4 feet depending on locality and which morph you get. As you guys know, the blues stay a little bit on the smaller side, 3 to 3.5 feet, whereas the Argentines or even the Chicoans are going to be the big boys are going to get 4 to maybe even a little over 4 feet long. 2 big things on why size matters, that means large enclosure space and large palate. The thing that comes with that size is the fact that Tegus are going to need a large space. The recommended minimum size for an adult Tegu is going to be an 8 foot by 4 foot by 4 foot enclosure. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever seen an 8 by 4 by 4, but I mean, they are big. I mean, come to think of it, I mean, right now, just with my 2-year-old, he's only spanning around 2.5 to 3 feet, and he's probably going to double in size, and not just length, but girth. I mean, he's going to be a big boy when he grows all the way up, and that means right now, he's just in a 6 by 3 by 3 enclosure, which is actually, I mean, that's this. It's my entire backdrop. So those sitting on paper for like, oh yeah, it's an 8 4 by 4, whatever. They are big enclosures and you need to make sure that you have the space in your home. Honestly, for me, I did not have space in my home to fit an 8 foot by 4 foot by 4 foot enclosure, which is why this guy's in the building here, behind me. Sum it up, yes, they are large enclosures and you just need to make sure before you bring, your small little 18-inch to, 20-inch baby home that you realize that at some point he's going to be needing a very large space. Continuing on the size, they not only need a large enclosure, their bellies are also going to get large and they're going to need some pretty large meals to fill it. Tegu lizards, being omnivores, eat a variety of diet. We're talking about veggies, fruits, and different kinds of meats, and they're going to be needing that pretty consistently. Right now, mine is getting a large variety of insects, meats, just chicken, turkeys, things like that, whole prey such as chicks and small rodents, and then a multitude of different fruits and veggies. That's a lot of food, and this Tegu is getting fed pretty much every other day for him being 2 years old. When you first get yours, you're going to be needing to feed him every day to then around a year to 2, when you can shorten it up a little bit. Now, what do large food items for a large belly mean? That means a large feeding bill. Feeding a Tegu is definitely not a cheap thing. With that variety diet you're going to be, it's not as easy as just bulk ordering a bunch of rats for, say, like a boa. You're going to need a bunch of different things. Like I said, fruits, veggies, insects, whole prey, things like that, meats. That comes to a pretty hefty monthly bill. Moving on to number 2, they're not always nice. Now yes, you've seen the Facebook videos and pictures everywhere, people holding their little puppies, they're puppy dog tame, they can hold them and move them around, they can do whatever they want. Well, that's not always the case when you own a Tegu. My Tegu lizard used to be that puppy dog tame, he was fine, he crawled up on me, he was totally okay, there was no issues. Then we hit around the 18-month age where, well, guess what they call it, a Tegu puberty, where he kind of became, well, an asshole. Fighting, lunging, charging, dominance behavior, you can name it, the Tegu has done, and he has gone from a sweet little baby to a bit of a dick, if I'm being honest. Before, it wasn't that big of a deal, still a small mouth, I got the gloves on, I'll be totally okay, but as he's gotten older, the bites are getting through the gloves now, people, and it kind of hurts. It's definitely something you need to be aware about what a Tegu can really do. I mean, when we're talking about a 4-foot lizard that has the potential to not calm down, that can be a bit of a project to handle if you're not really ready for that. Something to keep in the back of your mind to make sure that, well, do I really want this Tegu or do I just want it because it's a cute little, scaly dog that people, scaly dog, I think we need to take a step back and understand that these are still reptiles. No matter how many Facebook pictures you see of these puppy dog tame lizards, they are still reptiles that have instincts, especially when they are hungry. Yes, a hungry Tegu is definitely a different animal than a full Tegu. These Tegus can go from nice and friendly to, hey dad, that hand that has a glove, right here, this video, yeah, that's a snack, give me some. Even then, you know, it's not too big of a deal. I still got gloves on. You can see I'll get a nick or two. You can't see. Let's zoom that in because I got a nice camera. Boom, focus. You know, it's not much, but I mean, this was through a glove that was, where'd my gloves go? Hang on. DBCB Exotics, we can protect when we make videos. That little nick on my hand came from a glove that was pretty thick. I mean, the knuckles are lined to, you know, pretty nice padding, and that Tegu bit through. You can see the little seams are sticking out. Bit right through that glove, down into my knuckle, and then pretty much did, like, I would say an alligator death roll. Definitely something to keep in mind before you're getting a Tegu is the fact that when these guys are hungry, they turn into a complete different beast, and although it's cute, you know, when they do become an adult, it can be something that is pretty serious. So, moving on to the last thing I think you should know before getting a Tegu is the fact that brumation lasts what seems like forever. Yes, just like bearded dragons, Tegus do go through a brumation period. Unlike the bearded dragon, it lasts a lot longer. It can go anywhere from the earliest for about 4 months to the latest around 8 months. This is a natural instinctive cycle that they go through. This isn't something that you artificially do or that you can opt to not do. Tegus go through it, and there's really no way for them to not go through it, basically. It really does vary on Tegu to Tegu. Some do it for less time, some actually don't do it some years, some will do it for longer. Mine's, as some of you guys know, mine is definitely one of the ones that does it for what seems like the longest. I mean, Jesus Christ, it feels like forever, I'll be honest. Now, it definitely has its pros and cons. It's definitely something that you should keep in mind before getting a Tegu. You know, if you're wanting something that you can hang out with, you know, all the time, all year round, a Tegu is not going to be it, because from anywhere from a quarter to over half of the year, that Tegu is going to be asleep. Although 4 to 6 months really doesn't sound that long of a time, it really is when you think about it. You know, when I went through my first brumation with Hobbs, I mean, I think it was month 3, I was like, Jesus Christ, man, I don't remember the last time I've seen this guy, and it is kind of a bummer, you know. You spend like all this time with the Tegu, you know, taming him down, giving him personal, having him handling, and just really just forming a bond with the Tegu, and then all of a sudden, you don't get to see him for 6 months. I'll be honest, it does kind of suck. Obviously, there are some pros to it. You know, 4 to 6 months out of the year, you don't have to feed the Tegus, so you do save a little bit of money. And if that's something, you know, more of like a budget animal, although really I don't think Tegus are a budget animal. They cost a lot more than any of my standard lizards. Keep in mind, you know, although it is a bit of a plus that, you know, you do get to save a little bit on food bills for them, it does really suck if you really when you get a bond with a Tegu, because I think Tegus are just so awesome when you really form this bond. You get this intellectual reptile that really likes, well, not so much like, but you know, it's an enjoying experience, and having that taken away for a long period of time from him sleeping, it does kind of suck, I'll be honest. That's the root of, that's the whole summary of this. It does, brumation sucks. There you have it, guys. 3 things I think you should know before owning a Tegu. Now, if you made it to this point of the video, I gotta congratulate you, and as a special reward, like I said, I got 2 hoppers up there. I'll show you off, you know, feeding the Tegu. Mr. Hobbs, he's looking a little chubby. I did give him a pretty big meal of chicken and some fruits and veggies, so he's pretty full, so we're just gonna continue on with a little snack of some hopper mice. So before feeding, I always give a couple clacks of the tongs, kind of lets them know that we are about to start feeding. It's a little form of tap training. I don't have something to tap train him with right now, so it's pretty much just going to be using the tongs to try to, you know, give him a little bit of alert before we get. Just helps make sure, you know, differentiate from feeding time from just hand petting time, so my hands don't get mistaken for meals. But all right, let's get going with this. Well, he got most of it. I'll just give him the rest. And we got one more for him. There you go, bud. Alright, let's try to get him to go up the branches. Let's see if I can do this. It's hard to do it with the camera work and doing it at the same time, but come on, bud. There we go. Now jump. Do the jump. Come on. Oh, come on. You can do it. There we go. Good job. And there's nothing more fun than feeding the Tegu. I mean, that dude just goes from this slow-moving thing to just booking it up those tree limbs and stuff, trying to catch the prey of the branches, not the limbs. It's always a fun experience. That's gonna wrap it up for today, guys. If you liked the video, please feel free to give us a thumbs up. If you want to see some more of my animals or my breeding products, you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram at DBCB Exotics. And other than that, thank you for watching. I hope you have a great day.